What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast with me and Dimo.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back for another week.
We are back, and this week we are doing our top 10 list of superhero movies of all time.
There should probably be a disclaimer that we may have left one or two out.
Yeah, I feel like maybe if we, as we're going through the list, maybe we'll be like, oh shit, and edit something, but this is what we got for right now. So,
Number one,
we getting right into it?
The Dark Knight.
Easily. I feel like that's got to be
Coming at you.
I
It's
feel
the
like
most
that's got to
complete
be
superhero movie.
It's basically everything you want in a superhero movie. I feel like
It's everything you want, and it's everything you want in a Batman movie too.
What's your favorite part of that movie?
Favorite part of that movie? Ooh.
See, it's a tough question.
I can't really pick one over the other because I'm entertained from the start to the end, but I would say a lot of the detective scenes with Batman and Bruce were really good, and Alfred and the police. All of the Joker scenes were great. 10 out of 10, every single one of them. And then obviously a lot of the stuff with Heath Ledger. Aaron Eckhart was Two-Face was really good. All that stuff, anything with Jim Gordon, basically the whole movie at this point. The only thing, it always upset me how quickly that Bruce's career as Batman ended. Because if you look at the timeline, I believe it's not that long from start of Batman Begins to end of The Dark Knight. I was always too short for me. I felt like that was the only thing, and that's not really anything bad with the movie. That's just me wanting more of Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale.
So you think like it was too short for like it should have been more like than a trilogy
for his no. I felt like his prime was too short.
Oh, okay.
But then again, you look at it, his take was a realistic. If Batman, and he said before, I wanted to make a movie of if Batman was in this world. And the toll that is taken out on the character from the start of the first movie to the end of The Dark Knight, that's for however few years, 1 or 2 years that it is. I forget what the exact amount is. I'll look it up. But
between 2 and 3, you're saying?
No, between 1 and 2.
Oh, between 1 and 2.
The physical toll that Batman would take on someone is realistic, I guess, in that regard. Because then, he fell off the ledge at the end of The Dark Knight. And what did they say in The Dark Knight Rises? He had a torn MCL, no cartilage.
He had like no cartilage in his knees.
His shoulders, nothing.
Yeah, he could barely walk. He needed the cane. It was he was messed up in that movie for sure.
Yeah, so it's only 1 year
between 1 and 2.
Yeah, between 1 and 2.
Well, that makes sense too because at the end of 1 is when he gets the Joker card. So I feel like they wouldn't make it too far away because of him like having a meet with the Joker, or the Joker being a big part of it.
No, that made sense. It's just it was always like it's so short.
I feel like though one of the best scenes in the movie was, and this is obviously up for debate, but it was at the end when he was fighting Heath Ledger in that building, that like abandoned building with the where they had the hostages. Was a good ending. And Joker was about to fall off the building and he saves him. I think that was like I feel like that showed his like the line that Bruce won't pass. That was a good way of showing it, because he could just let the Joker die, and then
that was the start of their relationship as Batman and Joker, and who knows where that would have gone had he had Heath Ledger not died. Who knows where that trilogy would have ended, where it would have ended. Unfortunately we didn't have the best ending
for the trilogy. Yeah.
But the first 2 movies were fantastic. Always love them.
Yeah, I could rewatch that trilogy all day.
Hmm.
Number two. I
Logan.
think we have the same number two. Yeah.
Yeah, Logan's always good. That's like the best Wolverine you're ever gonna get.
Yeah.
Right there.
That I mean, it took us to like a whole new level of seeing Logan. Like we got to see a completely different like side of him later in life. Um Kind of like the aftermath of what's going on with the mutants and stuff, and he can't even really use his claws anymore, and his healing's gone to shit because it's killing him inside. It was like I thought it was such like a cool story of the clones. They had the clone Wolverine. They had what else was it? They had Professor Xavier, who died in it from getting killed from the Logan clone, which was I feel like pretty intense watching that for the first
Mhm.
time, and probably one of the I feel like one of the best endings for Logan and for like a superhero movie in general.
Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
think I think it's a fantastic movie.
yeah, it was
Oh,
very
wait a
good.
minute, we're missing Joker.
Oh my god.
Where are we putting the Joker on this list,
Oh, we
man?
got well,
He's got to be number three,
shit.
and then it's Watchmen. So Spider-Man's getting
You're
the
you're
axe.
you're you're spoiling. You're spoiling. Let's do it
I'm
quietly.
sorry.
Do it quietly. Do it quietly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm editing that right now. That's what we forgot. That's kind of funny that we forgot Joker, and we were just talking about it for like we were just talking about it with
This
the
better
Dark
be
Knight.
30 minutes.
Oh, it'll be yeah, we'll be good.
Sorry, Spidey.
Yeah. Well, it'll be an honorable mention.
Sorry, Toby, rather.
Um,
That's my uncle.
so what else you got for Logan? How
Um,
I loved Weapon X in it. His daughter, the scenes with his daughter, and then
yeah.
there's
I've always been a Wolverine fan, an X-Men fan. I used to read some of those comics, but
I was
um,
just I was just always that will probably change since the X-Men are coming in the MCU and we're going to have more of the X-Men in the future. But I always wish that we got to see Hugh Jackman in like that kind of comic accurate suit. But
those
Fox,
movies weren't bad, man.
no, they were great
The ones
movies.
he
The
was
whole
in, even
franchise,
some of the
yeah,
X-Men movies.
they were good movies. They just never I feel like Fox kind of did their own thing
They did, yeah.
with
Kind
the
of like
suits,
Sony
and
with Spider-Man.
yeah, and they kind of like they kind of didn't go for the more comic accurate suits because maybe those aren't as functional as the gear that they gave them
I think they
in
were
those
taking a
movies.
page from Nolan and trying to make a
I mean, they
realistic
did
Wolverine.
great. They
Yeah.
did, yeah, they did great. I don't think any of those movies are bad. Maybe maybe the first X-Men was a little iffy with the Deadpool, with Ryan Reynolds Deadpool in that one where he had the
Oh,
sewed mouth.
you mean
What was that
the
one?
Wolverine Origins movie?
Yeah, Wolverine Origins. That's what it
I
was.
like Wolverine
I
Origins.
like Wolverine Origins too, except for that part. That part's a little like, what are we doing here?
Really? With the Deadpool with Reynolds in the beginning?
Yeah, you like that?
That was his first appearance as Deadpool. I thought it was
Yeah,
hilarious.
and I don't.
I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, I thought it was stupid too, and so did he when he shot himself in the head in the Deadpool too. But yeah, Logan is a great movie, and I think it deserves to be number two. So number three, which we had the whole time,
What Joker.
Joker. Joker is definitely number three.
Psychological thriller, very good movie. Very
That
good acting.
movie, very good acting, and that movie for me kind of if we didn't forget it, it would have absolutely easily been number three or top three for me when it was in the theaters, when he was sitting in the woman's apartment, his neighbor's apartment,
Mhm.
and she was like, "What are you doing here?" And then you kind of like it starts piecing together that he was hallucinating or like picturing everything that was going on throughout the movie. Like that's for me when it was like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was a crazy movie.
And then at the end, with Robert De Niro, you get what you fucking deserve. He
Yeah,
blows him away.
yeah.
Wild movie, great movie, and I am excited for the if they do a second one. We have not yet gotten like full on confirmations yet. We just like rumors that they're
I would
talking
just
about it.
leave it the way it is.
But,
Don't ruin
but
something.
you would watch it. You would watch the second one.
Yeah, we're gonna watch everything, but
Yeah.
um, I don't know.
All right. What's your number 4?
Um, Watchmen, Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Talk
You
about
have
it.
to see the director's cut though.
Yeah. Was that was,
You cannot watch the theatrical cut.
was the director's cut the 3 hour one or the 4 hour one?
I think it was just a 3 hour one. I think
The ultimate cut or something is the 4 hour one.
no, there is no. I don't think there is a 4 hour one.
Are you kidding? No, there is
the
a
three.
4 hour
The one that's 3 hours is the one I'm talking about.
Hold on.
It's 3 hours something, but you don't have to watch the what do you call it? The animated bull crap that they attached to it. That Snyder came out and said that wasn't how it was meant to be seen. Tales of the Black Freighter.
Wait, say that again.
So the extended cut is 2 hours and 43 minutes.
I swear there's a longer one.
There is a 3 hour one. That's the one that comes with the animated movie in it, which you don't have.
Okay.
That's what that extra 20 minutes is.
Oh, interesting.
I did recently rewatch it all the way through because I had never done that with the
Yeah.
animated thing, and it's pretty good. But overall, it still holds up today.
Definitely.
More than enough. It's fantastic.
This is our first dispute on the list. I have Watchmen one spot below at number 5. And my
I thought you were
number
keeping it.
no, my number 4 is Infinity War.
Well, I put Infinity War. You know what? I'm gonna put 5 Infinity War and Ragnarok at 6.
I have Infinity War at number 4, and my reasons are it's just mainly because we got to see, that massive cast on screen, and we got to see what it's truly, I feel like what it's truly like for heroes to lose, and the high stakes that they fight at in these movies, and whatever we get to see them in or read them in comics and stuff. And that moment when Thanos snaps his fingers at the end of Infinity War, and there's like a pause in the movie where everything just goes quiet, and you're the audience too, you're just like speechless, like what just happened. And then you start to see all the characters like vanish from the snap, and the intensity, I feel like in that movie, the intensity and the emotion, that's what kind of wins that at number 4 for me over Watchmen. Infinity War is like it's my number 1 Avengers movie. Just I love kind of that kind of what happens when heroes lose, like aspect in a movie. Like I loved it in the Justice League Dark Apocalypse War animated movie. I loved it in Infinity War, and that for me is number 4.
Well, I think that there's Watchmen's a masterpiece in artistic detail, but also I think it's an example of like a really like a golden age superhero movie. And there's a Justice League movie that I really like. It's called Justice League: The New Frontier animated movie. It was really good. And this movie, it feels a lot like that classic. You get that 60s, 70s era superhero, and we don't really get to see the classic superhero on screen anymore. It's constantly like a newer wave and a very technologically advanced superhero. And then you get to see the old Watchmen and the new Watchmen. And you also get to deal with Dr. Manhattan. I wish that Snyder would make a Doomsday Clock movie.
Oh, that would be
That would be
incredible.
phenomenal. I think he would kill that.
Doomsday Clock is one is in terms of comics, that's probably one of my like top 10 series.
Yeah, I mean, he could easily make a Watchmen Doomsday movie, and
Mhm.
it would kill. I'm sure it
Absolutely.
would be right up there
Well,
with it.
especially you would have Superman on the same screen as Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. Well, you would have to figure all that stuff out before
That
they
would
made this
be,
movie.
yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah,
But that would be incredible to see that live action, or even to see that in an animated movie. If they did like an animated movie adaptation of Doomsday Clock, just something would be incredible.
definitely. All right. So after Infinity War, I have Thor Ragnarok.
We have another dispute here.
You put an end game before it.
No, I put Winter Soldier before it.
I thought Winter Soldier wasn't even on your list.
No, Winter Soldier was on my list.
This thing has changed like 50 times already. Um,
No, Winter
you
Soldier
know,
was on my list.
I have Winter Soldier a few below. Um, yeah, I'm
Talk about
going
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
I'm
Um,
Ragnarok's my 7, so we're close enough for that.
um, I think I put it at 5 because I think it's the best Thor story we've had so far, and Thor's a very important character in the Marvel
Did
Cinematic
you have
Universe.
it? Did you have it at 5 or 6?
I have it at 5.
Oh, okay.
What do you have it at?
7.
Yeah, so I think it's the best Thor story, and Thor's an integral character to the MCU, and I think just overall it does a great job of exploring the what do you call it, the Norse mythology with Ragnarok, the end of the earth or whatever.
Hella.
Yeah, we get a lot of that lore explored as well, and um, the whole scene with the Hulk was great when he was battling him on that planet.
On
Um,
yep.
and the visuals were great all around, I think. But the story was really engaging. It was fun. It's a really fun movie.
Well, especially being kind of like a, if you want to consider it kind of like a rebound from
Yeah.
the Thor the Dark World,
Yeah,
like
the Dark World, they kind of
he'll
dropped the ball.
Hemsworth almost walked after that movie.
I didn't know that.
He there was like a thing that said he didn't want Thor to be like the movies, because obviously the character, there's so much pain behind the character and like his story, in the Dark World he loses his mother, and Ragnarok he loses his father. He loses Loki later on, so obviously the character has gone through so much like pain and stuff, but like he wanted the movies to at least feel like, he said, like he's like the movies need to have some like entertaining aspect of it. It can't be like constantly this dark and um like dark tone that 1 and 2 had. 1 was good, 2 was obviously worse, but like comparing 3 to 1 and 2, like it's on a completely different level.
Um, I mean, like we just said, the Thor the Dark World just wasn't gripping at all. And I rewatched them all recently and I just wasn't happy with it. Like the first Thor movie I likened to Man of Steel. They're very similar in the way that they were laid out and like plot points and everything. They had the same battle in the town,
Yeah.
if you remember. Not quite the same ending, but and it was really good setup, really good origin. You got a lot of the Norse mythology, which I like, especially because I played God of War recently. It all looked really good. But then the second one was just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It wasn't awful, but it just wasn't good. It was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertaining if you haven't seen it for a really long time, but then you're just like, I don't want to see this for a really long time.
But I think the reason I rank Ragnarok that high is because it bounced back. You know what I mean? It brought that Thor trilogy it made it a trilogy, really, because the Dark Knight trilogy started off really good, went up and up, but then it went down.
It went down, yeah.
With the Thor trilogy so far, now we're getting a fourth movie. It's gone up, down, and then back up. So I mean, they got a chance to if he does end up not just doing one more.
Which I think he is doing more than he's gonna at least a couple more. I think I wouldn't be
Solo
surprised.
movies? You think so?
I think maybe at least one more solo movie. depending on, because he's going to be in the Guardians movie. I think he's making an appearance,
Either
obviously,
way, I
and
mean,
some more things.
if this ends up being his last one, or if he does another one, I think they're in a good spot with the franchise.
Definitely.
Um,
So is Ragnarok your number one MCU movie?
yeah, it has to be. No, I
Wow.
have Infinity War.
As your number one MCU movie?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. See, that's why. So for me, Winter Soldier is still my number one MCU movie. And for me, that's because the the fighting sequences in it are incredible. Like on the bridge, where right before um, right before Bucky's revealed, is I still think one of and holds to be one of the best like fight scenes. The choreography in it is amazing. The story kind of itself is really good with that. Um, Shield being overrun by Hydra. All of that I think is such like a engaging story for the movie, and Bucky being the Winter Soldier gives it like that kind of different level of emotion for the movie. And then this one I think kind of, and when you're saying like the trajectory of like the trilogy for Captain America, they just kept going up. They kept getting as good as the previous movie was. It just kept getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this one, it's got to be above it for me.
Well, I go Endgame, then Winter Soldier. That's 7 and 8 right there for me.
I got right. So I got Ragnarok at 7 for me, and then Endgame at 8.
All right. So last two.
You don't want to talk about Endgame at all?
I mean, it's kind of the same. I feel like kind of like the same situation as Infinity War, except it's the reverse. Like the heroes win.
The heroes win,
You
yeah.
know what I
And
mean? You get
we
the
get a
whole
lot of
gang.
we get a lot of fan service though
Yeah. So
with
that's
all
why
that.
I
So
have it at 7. I guess you could bump Winter Soldier. You could alternate on my list, Winter Soldier and Endgame, but I think Endgame kind of takes the cake because it's like a big.
yeah, it's like the
It's an
end
event,
with
you
Avengers
know.
Assemble and everything.
Um,
All right,
but
so
yeah,
the last
the
two,
9 and 10,
yeah, 9 and 10 spot.
Batman 89 for me, and then Batman Begins
Yeah,
rounds it out.
same for me. Those are the same for me.
Maybe if I was more of a Spider-Man fan, or maybe if I was more of a Iron Man fan, those last two would be different. You know what I mean? I feel like the last two of the top 10 list generally indicate what kind of superhero fan you are.
I have for me it might be, depending on, I love No Way Home, and I feel like No Way Home blankets a lot of the movies because of the callbacks we get, the villains, the heroes and stuff. So that's kind of like my Spider-Man No Way Home is my 11, or just like my alternate in a top 10. But I feel like Batman 1989 holds solid at number 9 for me because of how iconic just that movie is in general. Like Michael Keaton, his bat suit, um, the 1989 Batmobile is just still, I think, one of the best Batmobiles we've gotten live action.
Mhm.
Um, it's obviously from 1989, so you could say it's like, I guess, a little corny or whatever at times, but for the time that it was released, and the popularity it has now, and it's going to continue to get, since Keaton is going to be in a part of the DCEU with the upcoming Flash movie and further projects. I think it just shows that this movie deserves a top 10 spot.
So you're putting in the top 10.
Yeah, it's my number 9. I think that, like, I'm saying, like 10 for Batman Begins, I feel like could get switched out here and there, depending on the argument, but 1989 is not leaving my list. That's permanent there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I saw
then,
that when I was really young.
yeah, same. And then Batman Begins, it just starts the Nolan trilogy. It's a great origin story for Batman. We get to see him travel to the League of Shadows. Get the Ra's al Ghul story.
Raish.
Raish.
I believe
Feej.
it's also pronounced Raish.
I believe it's pronounced Feej.
No, seriously.
I've heard it both ways. I don't know which one's
Yeah.
the right way. I've heard like in the Gotham TV show they pronounce it Roz, and then other shows they pronounce it, or movies they pronounce it Raish. It's confusing. I want one definitive one, but
Yeah, again, that you got to talk to Dennis O'Neil about that, who created way back
created the character.
1971.
But I mean, I feel like that is a solid list. I don't know if we've forgotten anything. There's so many movies that have come out, especially in the MCU alone.
So the creators pronounce it both ways. Both ways are correct.
Perfect. But I don't know. Especially with the MCU alone, there's so many movies. I don't really think any of the DCEU movies have what it takes to be in a top 10. Maybe in the future. Maybe this list will change when the Batman releases in March.
Maybe
we'll see. But as of right now, this is our list, and I think we both have a pretty good list. We have a little bit of discrepancies, but I don't think any of the movies are, I don't think the margin between them is massive. They're all like really, really close. But yeah, I think that's it.
I think that would be the end of our list, and then hence the end of this episode for this week.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week on the podcast.
Take good care of yourselves.